Hello, hello. Alright, let me pause the music here real quick and then I will turn it back on when I actually start working on my project. Maybe if I can get my mouse onto the correct screen here. Welcome, welcome to those who are joining me today. Thank you. Apologize for being a little bit behind schedule. We have some weather coming in here in New York, and I had to run some errands this morning, so it kind of put me a little bit behind schedule. And then, of course, by the time I got back, I was like, oh, maybe I can actually start on time. But then I got wrapped up in more errands, and by that point, I was like, man, if I start at 11:30, then I'd be stopping like 15 minutes into the stream to feed the cats. So I was like, you know what, we'll just I'll feed them a little early and we'll get started on our project. Yeah, so didn't quite work out the way I had planned this morning, but I just want to talk real quick before we start our project. You will notice that there is, I'm assuming it will pop up like in the chat box, and then it's also up at the top of the screen, the little target. It should say goal created. So I have set a goal for this stream. If I can get 5 super chats, then I will do a longer stream. We'll schedule a longer stream and we'll work out the details on it. And I will let you guys pick the project. So I'll go through my books, and I'll select 4 or 5 different options, and then I'll put up a poll and let you guys pick the project. Obviously, I'm gonna pick the book because if you guys pick something that I don't have, that kind of defeats the purpose. And then I will schedule the longer stream. Obviously, no obligation to anybody to, donate or use supers or anything like that in this channel. I'm just grateful that people come and watch. But I figured I would use this feature, see what happens. Anything that I make on this channel goes back into the channel, or I have some vet bills for my animals that I am trying to pay off. So it would go towards some upgrades for the channel. I have some pieces of equipment in my Amazon cart that I'm just kind of waiting on. I would like to upgrade to a bigger like overhead rig that I can put my camera on to use in a more open space. I have some larger projects that I would like to work on in the future that will not fit on my little desk space here. So that's kind of where I am at with that. And yeah, so we're gonna work in Mythic World again today, but on a different page. I started this on my own, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna, do, work on it on stream or maybe do a 30-minute whip for it. So I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do for stream today if I was able to stream, and then I figured, you know what, I already had started on this. I might as well just work on what's on my desk. So first, if you haven't seen it, this is the page that we worked on last week. This was a forever whip that had been just chilling, half done forever and ever and ever. And so when I kind of started feeling like I was able to get back into streaming, this was the project that kind of jumped out at me, and I actually finished it. So I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. I used Now, I'm fairly certain this was one of the Ohuhu water-based markers, like their original water-based markers, not the new paper-friendly ones. But then as I was going through some other supplies, I have the Arteza H2O Everblend markers, and I was like, oh, was it one of those that I used? So I'm actually not sure what water-based marker I used for this. Um, but the majority of the monster was done with water-based marker, and then I used my Derwent Chromaflows for a bunch of the detail work, the hair, the mountains, the tree, all these little details. And then for the sky, I used my Derwent Inktense pencils and a little bit of colored pencil just to make things pop in a few areas. And then for the water down here, I used some of the Faber-Castell, the gelatos. I wanted something that was going to allow the green to show through, and I was able to just go over the monster with the brush and not take away from what I had done. I had originally thought about using the Inktense on the background, but since I use water-based marker, I wouldn't be able to use the Inktense over top of them and activate the Inktense without making a huge muddy mess, so it worked out better to just use the gelatos. So, yeah. This kind of goes with my goal. I would like to finish one Forever Whip a month throughout the rest of the year. So this was my January Forever Whip, and then I will pick one for February. And so it may end up being a project that I started and didn't like where it was going, and maybe now I've kind of changed, you know, my techniques have changed. So it's actually kind of fun to go back and look at something and be like, oh man, this was a hot mess when I did it, and I stopped because I just couldn't push through the ugly phase to be able to finish it. So, hi Pam, how are you? Howdy, howdy. So this is my project for today, and I don't have any binder clips here on my desk. Do I have any binder clips on my desk or any other? I don't. So we're just gonna roll with it. So this one almost also became a Forever Whip. Like, I just started this the other day, but it hit the ugly phase real quick, and I was like, oh, this is not working the way that I had envisioned it, and I almost stopped and canned the project. But then I was like, you know what? We're just gonna take and work at it a little bit at a time. I think it was Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. I was watching one of her gouache painting videos, and she talked about painting in terms of like sculpting. So when you're building your layers up, it's similar to sculpting. And so that's how I'm trying to look at this, is each little piece that I add to it is getting me closer to being out of the ugly phase and towards what my ultimate goal for the pages. And I actually am working off of an inspiration photo for this one. Blah blah blah. Let me find it so I can show you guys what I am kind of envisioning here. So this is my reference photo, and the hard part for me with reference photos is remembering that wherever this came from, their vision of where their light source was coming from is going to be different than the orientation of the page that I'm working on in my vision of it. So trying not to match everything up perfectly with the reference photo and just use it as a color palette and kind of an idea, and then do my own thing with it, lest I get into this like hyper, well, it doesn't look like the reference photo. And then so my plan is I'm using the Inktense pencils for right now as my base layer, and I actually started working with some of the colored pencil up here and then realized that I was kind of getting ahead of myself. So I took a step back and was just kind of like, okay, let's work with the Inktense first, let's get the ugly base layer down, and then go in with the pencils and kind of sculpt it from there. So it's looking a little rough right now, but the nice thing about working with the Derwent, the Inktense, and the Chromaflows is it's from the same brand, so the color similarities across the two lines tend to play well with each other, is what I have found. So that's kind of what we're going to that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna put the music back on and jump into my project. And I hope you guys are doing well. I know I was kind of chatty and wordy and spent the first chunk of the stream running my mouth. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Also, Pam, thank you so much for the thumbs up and the share. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna separate out my Inktense. So I'm trying to decide. Okay, I think I'm gonna block a little bit of this orange color in up above the serpent's head here, but it'll be as if it's coming off of the goat's back rather than the snake's head, because he kind of starts here. I love this page. I'm working on the Wolfman. Is that from Mythomorphia? The solo wolf with the moon in the background. Although doing it this way, it just looks like it's coming off the serpent's head anyways, but... But it's okay. Doing it from Mythic Animals, nice. I have actually tackled that one. That was one of my Halloween images from last year. And I am working in the UK edition of this book. So the paper is a little bit different and takes the water a little nicer than the US editions, but I still had some issues with bleed through. But I'm not super worried about it because when I go through and do the other pages, I'll be able to cover that up. I have also discovered that I like working with these to kind of fill in spaces by just taking the brush to the pencil. Helps me to fill things in and smooth things out. And I'm not super worried about all of these like harsh lines and edges, because when I start working with the colored pencils, I'll be able to smooth a lot of that out. And then the trick is, like, on the background here, I still want the columns to show through. So what I probably will do is some areas will be a little darker, and then I will dial it back and use a lighter colored pencil so that you still get some of that color from this background piece, but it's not going to overpower the flames. It looks a little bit more layered. It's kind of weird to explain, but hopefully once we get to that point, it'll make a little bit more sense. But yeah, I'll have to go check your stream VOD back so I can see how your Wolfman is coming out. It's been nice to pull the Inktense out again. It makes things go a little bit quicker and feel more attainable than just using colored pencils, and especially with the mobility issues in my hands. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space around. See, I'm not sure what these chunks are supposed to be. If it's supposed to be like ash or I might just end up having to take some like creative liberties, or yeah, I'm not sure what exactly these pieces are supposed to be. So your messy channel from your coloring, that's fair. So yeah, I'm gonna leave a little space around these in case I decide that I want to just color them like flaming pieces of debris. Welcome back. I think my other channel is in here watching too. I don't know how that happened, but am I in here twice? Let's see. Nope, I'm not. But I have a second channel. There's nothing on it right now because I'm still trying to figure out if I'm, I don't know, sorting my life out, I guess, is the best way to put it. I thought about using it for longer form content that the algorithm doesn't like on this channel. And then at one point I had thought about also trying to stream over on Twitch once a week in the gaming arena, which was where I started, and then using it for for VODs from that, but considering I could barely commit to the one channel at this point in my life, no fussing and cussing over there. And thank you for the second thumbs up. I have that much time to do 2 channels like that. In the grand scheme of my life currently, the time is there. I could definitely, in that aspect of things, if I reprioritize, you know, my stay-at-home mom / housewife duties, and really treat this more like a business. It's more of physically, my body is just not capable of the things that my brain wants it to be capable of. So it makes me hesitant to try and add anything outside of existing to my plate. Inktense and the Neo 2s have really made a big difference. They really have. I need to use my my Neo 2s more as well. But I know a lot of people really don't care for the Chromaflow pencils, and I do wish that they had the chunkier Derwent barrel, but I've really come to enjoy them. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be doing a double page spread with them, but I love the way that they pair with the Inktense. And I think because I have a more unpolished, gritty style to my colored pencil work, that they kind of lend themselves to that, and I like the outcome that I get with them. Mewtwo's are awesome. Discovered them late in 2024 and they're gorgeous for backgrounds. Hi, B. Can I call you Zoza? What would you like me to call you? Brazoza? I want to make sure that I get your name right. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I'm just I really am enjoying the way these like layered together, even when they're like not complementary colors. You're from Poland. Wow. Welcome on in. All the way from Poland. Okay, so I need to do some work on around here. It's neat to get people from all over the world coming into the chat. How long have you been coloring for? Do you do any other forms of art? My favorite coloring book from Kirby, oh boy, that is, we asking the tough questions out here. Honestly, if I had to pick, it would probably be, this one, Mythic World, and Mythomorphia. Would be my two favorites. How about you? I'm betting you're excited for his new book to come out in March. Only have one of his books, Fragile World, and I'm thinking about buying another one. Really like today's picture. This is one of my favorite books. It's got some interesting imagery in it, but if you like mythology, then you would probably like this one. I definitely recommend this book. Do you have any other favorite coloring book artists that you enjoy? Definitely text not usually his drawings were doodles, and I wasn't really a fan of his highly detailed drawings, and these seem to be more calm. Yeah, the early books, the Morphia, the early Morphia books, um, were pretty doodly. Mythomorphia is pretty similar to this style. A lot of coloring books with floral motifs from Layla Dooley, Hannah Carlson, and Marie Trolley books, enjoying the Bassford. Nice. Hi, Brittany. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Right now I'm working with the Derwent, the Inktense pencils, and then, eventually I'm gonna go in with the Chromaflows and do a bunch of, detailed work. And since you asked me that, that reminded me that I've been meaning to do this. Hold on a second. Give me just a second. I'm gonna do something that's gonna help you guys out. Okay, let me see if this works. Maybe? Nightbot, where are you? There we go. Okay, it took him a minute. Alright, so now I just have to remember to change this for each stream. But there's a command, so if I'm engaged with something and y'all want to see what the project and the supply is for the day, you can just use !project and you'll be able to see what I'm working on. So that just reminded me, like I've been meaning to add that in, and I just I was having some issues with Microsoft Edge, since Windows now no longer does the automatic update for my version of Windows, and I got logged out of like all of my stuff. So Nightbot wasn't here. Arteza told me they've not discontinued their 120 set of the colored pencils on back order, and excited for it to be replenished soon. Oh, nice. I didn't know there were rumors about them being discontinued. I hadn't heard that. Is this because you don't have Windows 11 on your computer? I believe so. Yeah, I still have Windows 10. So they discontinued the automatic updates. Now I have to remember to go in and actually update my my PC. Because once I went in and did the update myself, it fixed my issues with my browser. But yeah, there was like a whole like mini panic attack, because like all of my stuff for all of my household bills is on Microsoft Edge, and otherwise I'd have no issues going over to Chrome. But having to remember all of my passwords and reset all of that stuff up just did not appeal to me at all. to see when remakes Friday night into Saturday. We're supposed to get some winter storms here over the next few days in New York as well. So I had to run to the post office and mail some things off that will hopefully get to where they're going. An old school friend of mine, her daughter has recently gotten into art, and I had some supplies that I'm not really using, and so I thought, why not give them to a budding young artist? So I was trying to get those out so they hopefully get there before her birthday. How are ya? Working and lurking, so not much chatting to have. Love the color palette, like a rainbow, but not. Yes, it's Here, I'll show my reference photo again. So this is kind of the color palette that I am working on. And yes, I'm working with the Inktense right now, and then I'm gonna go in and do a bunch of my detail work with the Chromaflows once it dries. So we're multimediaing it up. Like about Kerby's coloring books is that he shows shading nicely, almost like grayscale coloring books. It definitely helps. It kind of helps you to train your eyes. So like when you're working in a book that doesn't have a lot of those like lines, that you can visualize it yourself. But I will say this. Yes, Kerby puts in a lot of detail and work into his line art. Do not be afraid to ignore it. Noticing that some colorists are using interesting bases like soft pastels with watercolor pencils on top and alcohol markers with water media on top. I love mixed media, especially for these larger pages. I love seeing like what you can do with it, and using like the marker base or the Inktense base, especially on these bigger pages, makes them feel so much more like obtainable. Like, and I've talked about it. You've been in here when I've talked about the mobility issues that I've been having, like with my with my hands. I could never do something like this with just like colored pencil. Bless Karen from My Colorful Country Life. I know she does amazing work using I know she uses a variety of media, but a lot of her stuff is largely like colored pencil, and I could never do the level of what she does with just colored pencil. I feel like I would get I'm not gonna say bored, but I just get to a point where it just feels like I'm never gonna finish the project. using glitter pens for details, like the Jelly Roll Stardust. I have trouble finding like gel pens that suit my needs, but I have some glitter markers that one of my subscribers sent to me, and I have some glitter watercolor that I've used. But that's one thing like I want to like put out to people, cuz I hear it a lot, especially with Kirby's books, is that people are afraid to do like a disservice to his line work. But the thing is, like, if he didn't want his artwork to be colored in this manner, he wouldn't make a coloring book. You know, like, he wouldn't make coloring books if he just wanted his art to just like be art. So just trying to get people to not be afraid to put their own spin on things, you know? Okay, let's get some more of this green in here. Two Karen colorings, the Rainbow Serpent and the Rainbow Fish, but did it with watercolor pencils, Inktense, and Neos. Otherwise, they never would have tackled them. That's kind of the headspace that I'm in at this point. Also, the Ohuhu glitter markers, and see the difference between them and the Stardust. I like the. I have a set of um they look like this, but they're the Ohuhu, the glitter ones. I like these better than um like the Jelly Roll pens. I was afraid of Kirby because it was too busy and had too many fiddly bits, and when I learned I could use other media to help and didn't have to color every line. Yes. Yes. It does not need to all be colored. Oh no, my playlist is done, I think. Oh, I got some fire down here that I completely missed. Some flames down here at the bottom that we gotta color. Okay, I'm gonna grab another color here. Just pull your Inktense out to see if you can find a whip. Must have 100 of them. Yeah, that's kind of one of my feels is I have too many whips. So one of my goals for the year is to finish one forever whip a month. So right now this looks like a hot mess. Like there's no separation between like my rocks and my flames. That will come together once this dries and I start with the pencils. I'll be able to add some definition in here to separate these elements. But really, like with this stage, it's all about blocking in the color and getting, you know, my base colors down. And so when you do this, you want to start with light colors and essentially sculpt your image up into your darker colors. It is a lot easier to add than it is to subtract if you go into too heavy. The glitter markers can leak when they get older. May have pushed down on them too much when they were new. They were great. I have a hard time finding, like, for what I want to use them for in terms of coloring, to, like, finding acrylic paint pens that do what I want them to do. I have an inability to accept whips. I have a tiny few colorings from when I was taking classes and didn't color the whole page. It's only interested in learning the one element. My problem is that I have a hard time pushing through the ugly phase. So if I start something and I don't like the way that it's going and I don't feel like I can correct it, then I end up a lot of times sadly abandoning the project. Which is part of the reason that, like, now I've decided to set that goal for myself. Because sometimes I come back to a project and maybe when I started it, my skills were different. And my vision has changed. I think an abandoned image is different than a whip. That's fair. I can see that. of it too is like some of the older stuff that I'm going back and trying to finish is just seeing like what new things I've learned since I started it, or how can I correct this hot dumpster fire of an image? I think for me too, especially when I'm actually like diligent with making content, is I usually have multiple projects going just to mix things up. So I'm not doing the same thing for every stream, cuz I feel like unless I'm trying to teach something, or if it's a smaller project that I can finish in 2 or 3 streams, but like longer projects, I feel like nobody wants to watch like a 7-part stream finishing one image, and plus I get bored. So I have to take breaks on certain things. Oh, I thought I pulled out a... Let me see how this looks. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Because these would all be in my vision, kind of in the darkness anyways. still waiting for the 28 new Derwent Inktense pencils. Oh, from Cult Pens. Their shipping is usually pretty good. I'm sure with the holidays they're probably a little bit behind. I'm really trying to make sure that I get all of my Inktense down where I want it before I move on. When did you order it? Like, when in December? Oh, this is hilarious. This makes me laugh. So, for those of you that don't know, I retired from the military in September. I just got an email. Apparently, I'm still on a bunch of distro lists. Uh, your next fitness assessment date was due on August 31st, 2024, and you have not scheduled your next fitness assessment date. Yeah, I will not be doing that. Thank you very much. Uh, well, that gave me a good laugh. That ship has sailed, fools. Okay, I'm going to hit our snake here, our serpent, down the middle with this orange color. What is this? Paprika. See how bad this ruined the other page. Ah, not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and let this dry for a little bit. Um, Come back. I'll probably hit it with the heat gun, and then see what we can get started with the colored pencils. Because I think I'm at a point where I am content with um, my Inktense base, and that anything that I might have like missed, I should be able to recover, color in with the colored pencils. So, all right. So I will be right back. Hi, Eddie. Okay. Esther. What are you trying to tell me? Huh? I was gonna do a bit more work before I finish. Say no work? No? Oh, my love. Welcome to Cat Butt Stream. Oh. Can you sit over here? If you sit over here, then I can pet you with my left hand and work with the right hand. Now my camera won't focus. So it's too bad the microphone won't pick it up, but she's purring like right in the microphone. I know, I don't usually work at this time, huh? No, don't eat the pencils. Don't eat the microphone. I'm sorry, you guys. Are you gonna say hi? Are you gonna say hi? No? Are you just gonna meat hook me? You need a nail trim, ma'am. That's going to happen later. What? They can't see what I'm doing. Because the camera is focused on you. Can you come sit over here? you can sit over there, just don't eat the pencils and oh, this is kind of heartbreaking, you guys. So she moved over to the other side of my desk. She's sitting in front of my monitor and pawing at my hand like on the screen. Don't break my monitor, ma'am. Yeah, I think the pencils are really gonna bring this together. Ugh, excuse me. Let me pull this back over here. So this is kind of where we're at right now. I started working a little bit over in this section over here with the pencil work. But I think that's about where we're gonna stop for today. My hand is actually starting to hurt a little bit. I will probably work on this some off camera, but depending on how far I get, this may end up being what we work on next week. It just depends. I have a couple other things that I hope to be able to get recorded. I have a special flip through that I need to work on, so hopefully I can get that up this week, and then I might do a 30-minute whip for this, and like I said, I probably will also work on it off camera. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I super appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.